Alrighty, so I had to erase my last video, got too long. And trying this again. Alright, so this is Diesel with the People News. Okay, not attorney, not giving legal advice. Educational purposes only. Okay, do your own research. Never look straight forward, always look around and be able to protect yourself by any means necessary. Now, these are bills actually passing laws on judicial complaints on judges and all that. Okay, and my understanding, which I did dig deep into, I missed this bill altogether, so I have not had a chance to read it all the way through. But my understanding is they want our governor to actually pick out the judges and the people, and they're supposed to be 6, allegedly, and to go through the process and pick all these people out. And even though I'm not a Greg Abbott guy, per se, I think taking it out of the judges' hands is good. Judges are investigating themselves, they're going to find no wrongdoing. Attorneys find themselves wrong, investigate themselves, wrongdoing. They're innocent. Officers investigate themselves and find no wrongdoing. Okay? According to the state constitution, this is supposed to be all up to the representative anyway. They have power to impeach. Okay? And but what they did is just kind of pushed it in violation of the state constitution to the authority of the bar and the judicial branch. Well, that's not in the Constitution. They said in a constitutional amendment, but that's not what the original intent of the Constitution was. It was for the lazy ass representatives to actually investigate this. I'm supposed to actually file a complaint, do a petition, my redress against the judicial branch, for them to investigate them judges and see if they need to be impeached. But them lazy asses are ignoring it and gave all their power and passed it on. Okay? Moreover, people, quit. Knock it off. Find out the people you're voting in are attorneys, ex-judges, or officers, or any government body. And why do you think I say that? Or is it supposed because we want educated people in there? No, we need educated people in there. Okay? But I much prefer more of an uneducated people in there than I do for an attorney that's going to pass laws that creates laws to benefit the bar. And that's exactly what they do. Okay? Senator King is an ex-cop. He was trying to pass a law and got it into the House to protect an attorney trying to pass infringement, which did not pass, 3565. But as an officer, he was going to uphold the prosecutor. And other officers think it was a good idea to turn it into a felony because of cop watchers. Okay? Now, infringement in Texas, and I think Tennessee is damn near the same way, by the way, people in Tennessee, all right? It's so broad, when you're 6 miles away and you're filming, you're walking down the street, an officer drives by, he'll going to go tell the other officer at a car accident, there's a guy filming coming this way, and that officer's going to tell that officer, well, go arrest him for interference. They're going to go over there and arrest the guy for interference. Now, that being said, you're going to have to go through the courts, and when it's said and done with, you may be found innocent in appeal courts. Maybe. But not in Fort Worth. All right? They find the people that's just so much godly in love with the cops and the judges and prosecutors that they're going to rule against you. All right? And even though you're innocent. Because the statute is so broad. All right? And I'm not saying that the officers will do that. The issue I have at hand is that they can do it is the problem. And they have used it to benefit them out of retaliation. Okay. And they've been doing it to cop watchers, and they've done it to me because they didn't like what I had to say. All right. And put that on me when I was nowhere interfering. All right. So yes, I have problems with all this crap. Now, that being said, let's go.
Well, members, I'm sorry I have to be here to speak against this bill. I was ready to vote for it. I really appreciate Mr. Leach's work on this. I know Mr. Leach and I have had our fun on the front and back mics, but I respect his efforts to work with us, and I think Mr. Leach was willing to work with us. I think the people who are not willing to work with us are across the hall, and that has been consistent throughout this session. And just like earlier, I think this is kind of one of those expect us moments as well. That this is something that I think we've made very reasonable requests.
All right, so maybe I'll bypass this a little bit. So, allegedly, and again, I have not went into depth of what the bill was read of, but say there's 6 people that was supposed to be there, us, and then a couple of different judges and a couple of attorneys and all that, and total of 12 people, I think. All right. What this guy right here is saying is that we do not need any we the people in there. That it only should be attorneys and judges that's investigating ourselves. That way we can still have this conflict of interest in our pocket. Since that we've all been ignoring your complaints. Whether you file a bar grievance against your attorneys, they'll ignore it. Whether they file a judicial complaint on the judge, they'll ignore it. Whether you do it on the cops, they'll ignore it. Okay? We do need actual people in there. The question is what is the questions they're going to be asking with them people and how much of a liquor they are.
Requests that don't destroy this bill, requests that don't upset what their intent was, but simply, can we have just a tiny bit of balance? Can we have a tiny bit of, can we protect the system that we have and not do it due to the judiciary what we have done to everything else?
No. They've been criminals for the past 50, 60 years. Republicans. And I was once a Republican. Gotta find out how much liars they are, so I'm not neither one. They're both disgusting.
Which is politicize it until it's dead. And this is really the frustration for me, because I mean, outside of my role here, I'm a lawyer, but I'm also a law nerd. You know, I'm one of the few people that really, really enjoyed law school. And my classmates really hate me for that too. But that's not the point. The point is, what happens to the judiciary, to me, outside of all this, is extremely important. Because the judiciary is what ties our nation together. The judiciary is what ties our democracy together. It's how we make sure that the legislative branch works with the executive branch and works with everybody else. They're the referees who come in and say, everybody chill out for a moment, let's figure this out. The point of the judiciary, if you look at their rules of ethics, if you look at what they swear to, they swear, even if though they run as Democrats, run as Republicans or independents or whatever, that they will not use that in place of their judgment. That they will keep their minds clear and not prejudge issues before they come before them in court.
This attorney right here is plain out lying to you already. I have first-hand knowledge that they actually do this and side on the prosecutor's side all the freaking time. Alright, there's within reason, obviously, y'all. If they found 100% guilty all the time, then everybody would think that we didn't have a judicial branch, that were communists. We're a police state. We're right there.
You go work with judiciary candidates. They go out campaigning. They can't say, they don't talk about abortion, they don't talk about guns, they talk about all this stuff. Because they can't. They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to have made up their minds about what happens before it appears before them in court. That is very, very different from what we do, and I think we can't see that because we don't live in that world. Judicial Commission, I understand, is not functioning as well as they would like. You know what?
Gee, you think? It wasn't because you guys are criminals.
What helped it? Money. You know what would help them?
Oh, let's see. We'll get some money and we'll be less criminals. Now, I see the reasoning in that, though, by the way. That's just a joke there. They do not have actually enough resources when you file a criminal complaint on judges and this, that, here, and there. They really don't, okay? And it does take money. So they only get $1.5 million to investigate complaints. In Texas, that's not very much. Most states have 50 watchers watching over the judges and, other judges watching judges. State of Texas is up to 12, 10 to 12. That's not very many for the size we are to say, hey, we need an investigator. Oh, we'll get to your complaint 5 years later.
More staff. You know what would help them? More resources. This doesn't help them. This bill, this SJR, only helps one person, and that's Greg Abbott. And I'm sorry that people don't want to hear that, but
I have to disagree with him. So putting 6 people in there to judge judges and to judge attorneys, that's not benefiting Greg Abbott. That's benefiting the people to counteract their bar union, bar union conflict of interest. If every one of them is attorneys and judges investigating themselves, that's just 100% conflict of interest, y'all. We need to quit voting no attorneys in the branch, no judges, and no cops. Because they will 100% come up with laws that's against the people. Period. Think about it.
Truth. We have taken a commission that was made up of people picked by the Supreme Court of Texas, again, a 100% Republican-controlled institution, or a body, and flipped it around and gave the majority control.
And 100% violated everybody's rights in the state of Texas that we become so numb and so come creature of habit when we go to court, we're thinking we're going to get justice. When California actually has more rights to due process. Texas has very little, if any.
To lay persons, people who are not even attorneys, much less judges, and say, you now have the majority control.
We cannot have the people actually be our bosses when we're their not subjects, but when we are their servants. Heaven forbid if our leaders actually judge us. See how conflict of interest he is already just in this small section, saying that we want attorneys and judges to judge ourselves. We don't want you little peon people, even though you're supposed to be our bosses. We want to keep creating and make you mislead and believe that you have rights, but you are subjects.
People say, well, the Senate's going to figure this stuff out. My friends, the Senate voted this out of their committee 9-0. In the House, it was 6-5. I think you all know what a rubber stamp the Senate is. Come on. I got some laughs out of that. This is not just about politics. This is about our democracy. Having a judicial system that is not afraid to do their jobs is what we need. Here is the danger. Here is the real danger. This provision on page 3, this is not about ethics violations. This is not about criminal violations. This is not about sexual harassment. This is not about being unprofessional. All those issues are already covered. The great fear of this thing, the thing that they're hiding sort of on page 3, that we don't really talk about, is that in the future, if judges, let's say, maybe a judge sides with a plaintiff a lot more than they side with defendants in lawsuits, maybe that judge gets investigated and say, well, that's not proper performance because you're not doing the things we want. You're not doing it the way we want. Is that an ethical violation? Nope. Is it a criminal violation? Nope. What is it? Well, we just don't like it.
Listen to the words carefully, y'all. He's speaking like an attorney. Alright? So, what in short is he bypassing on this is that if they're doing one-sided too much not to be investigated, they should be investigated. Now, if they find anything wrongdoings, that'd be a different issue. But if it's outside the norm, then they should, in fact, be investigated or wrongdoing. Not because we didn't like it. It's because I have firsthand knowledge that when you follow things, right, it's been ignored. Period. And that's what they're pissed off about. When they have 6 of us people in there, it may not be so easily ignored. And so, yes, all the other complaints he's talking about, well, we already have these laws that they're ignoring. Just saying, people.
If you really want to politicize it, that's how you would do it right there. That part right there. And all I had asked for on the previous amendment was this. If you're going to put this kind of ambiguous question of how judges will be judged, at least put the majority of people who will be making that decision as actual judges.
What? Can you say conflict of interest?
And that was denied.
As it should be.
I'm asking you to oppose this legislation to maintain balance within our government. Maintain balance. You guys remember that? There is a balance of powers between the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. Each one...
Now I gotta get off here. But where's the 4th one? The people. What about the people? Everybody keeps on ignoring the people. Just saying. Jason, we the people news. Bye, y'all.